There's a lot of really good guards in the 2026 NBA draft class, and Christian Anderson is certainly one of them. And there's one thing in his game that he does better than anyone else. And we're going to get into that and more in this video. So Christian Anderson is a young German guard. He'll be 20 years old when the NBA draft takes place. He spent 2 years at Texas Tech and took a pretty sizable leap as a sophomore. Averaged 18 points a game, 7.5 assists, 1.5 steals, and he shot 42% from three on 8 attempts a game. And this is a guy who offensively is a master in running an offense. I just think Christian Anderson, I don't think this is necessarily the thing he does best. There's one thing I'm going to get to later on, but he is extremely intelligent in how he runs an offense, which I think, despite the fact he measured in at 6'1", he does have a good wingspan at 6'6", and I like the fact he put on some weight, from his freshman season. He's 180 pounds. It's going to be important. He's probably going to need to continue. He's definitely going to need to continue to get stronger. But this is a guy who can manipulate defenses. He will call who he wants to be in the pick and roll. He'll call them into the play. He'll set up his teammates for good open jumpers. Texas Tech was a team that consistently beat teams that were, if you look at AP polls or rankings, better than them. And part of the reason was Christian Anderson's understanding of how to get his teammates into good positions. He is just one of the better point guards in just pure point guard play in this year's class. But the thing he does that's better than anybody else, and that's going to allow him to have a very good NBA career, is his pull-up three-point shooting. It is phenomenal. It is the best in this class. It just puts pressure on the opposing defenses because it gives him the ability he's not the most explosive athlete, but teams have to be up on ball screens because they're worried about his ability to pull up from three just like that. It is really exceptional for how good he is at such a young age with that particular shot. He is a guy who can create separation against bigger players, against players who are more athletic wings or more athletic guards. He can have a little bit of difficulty creating that separation, but he'll use the ball screen. He is a really great player in pick and rolls to create mismatches and separations for his jumper. And in a couple of games I watched, this Duke game, for example, the BYU game, he tends to get better as the game goes on, which is just one of the other things I love about Christian Anderson's game. I just think this is a guy who I would bet on. I would just bet on Christian Anderson. Now, weaknesses. He, like all players, they're not perfect. The size is certainly something that is going to be something he's going to need to overcome. And that will come in two aspects of his game. Number one, his ability to create separation, particularly scoring at the rim. He did not have a ton of rim attempts in college last season. And part of that is because he doesn't have a great ability to get there on a consistent basis. Number two is defense. I think he's an adequate team defender, but will teams pick on him because of his size? Despite, the solid wingspan, he's not extremely strong. So he's not a guy like, for example, a tremendous defender, and this is not a fair, they're very different players, but like a Jamal Shed, who's just a bulldog. He's not like that. He's just not like that. And so will teams look to take advantage of his limited size? I would say most likely they're going to look to do that. But I think he'll be able to make up for it on the offensive end. I think this is a guy who's going to go somewhere between late lottery at the earliest to the back half of the first round. He's certainly a first-round pick, and that's the reason why he stayed in this year's draft. And the question for me is how much will his strengths play up versus how much will his weaknesses come up in the NBA game? And that's going to dictate between him being a starting point guard in the NBA versus a quality backup guard. But I think no matter what, Christian Anderson is going to be a 10-plus year NBA player. I just am very confident in this guy's ability to have success in the NBA. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, share it with a friend, and until next time, peace.